Boom! Boom! The camera is rolling. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this quick Q&A. Now, this is going to be a one-take video. So there is no screen up. It is just going to be one take, and the file will be uploaded directly to YouTube. So I'm going to be answering all the surfing-related questions that you all sent in on my last video where I did a voiceover of my entire surf session. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. But here are some questions which you guys asked. So the first one is from Sam, and it says, "Hey Atua, are there any coral reefs near you? I would love to see you make some awesome snorkeling videos with voiceover. I'm sure everyone would enjoy that. Is that possible?" So I have done snorkeling and treasure hunting type videos in the past. I have a few of them that you can find on my channel. There are other spots to snorkel, but they're maybe in like other towns, so that is a potential thing to do. Go check out other places, but there's a lot of times where maybe it's just like in my last, sometimes the water's clear, but there's a lot of days where maybe there's a lot of sand and it's really murky, and that doesn't necessarily make for the best like snorkeling. It can still be cool, but on camera it's gonna look a lot murkier. Like even with like a snorkel you may kind of see, but thanks for reminding about potential snorkeling. I will keep that in mind. The next question is from, and by the way, all of these questions were left with a hashtag, most of them, that said hashtag #AskAtua. So if you have any questions, you leave it with that hashtag, and it makes it much easier for me to find them. So this one is from Rosie, and it says, "Can you please make a video where somebody stays on the beach and films you surf? That way, we can watch you surf from that angle." So, if you are unfamiliar, we have another YouTube channel called iSurfTribe. We haven't been doing as many videos lately, but on that channel, it's focused on surfing, and there are a ton of videos on iSurfTribe with surfing footage of not only myself, but also my sister and other surfers from the beach. So I'll link iSurfTribe in the description. Now my channel is not just surfing, it is a combination of different videos, and the thing with having somebody film on the beach is like maybe if like somebody else wanted to film, but like when the waves are really good, it's hard to be like, yeah, like why don't you just like stay on the beach and film me surf, because it's like the waves are really good and like it may not last very long. Like everybody wants to be out there surfing the waves when it's like really good at that time. And also it's much easier if I just take the GoPro, because then like if I can move down the beach and stuff, or I can just like go in quickly and it's just like in the water, do my thing, out quickly. Whereas if it can be cool to get surfing footage from the beach, but then somebody else has to stand on the beach and do that, whereas maybe they would rather be out surfing. So yeah, I'll link that in the description. Next question or comment is from Iceman. "Great vid, thanks Atua. Great to see you surf. Would be great to see footage from a big surf day too sometime. Pura vida." And yes, that would be very cool. The reason I don't always film when the waves are really big and really heavy with the mouth mount, I do sometimes, but it is really scary when there's these huge sets coming in, like sets where I'm like, I gotta throw my board and swim down, because when you have a mouth mount, a GoPro, you don't breathe as much air, because it's just not as much air can get into your mouth as easily, and you can still breathe fine. It's not like I feel like I get lightheaded or anything, but it's just not as much air, and when you're like trying to get as much air as possible because you have to dive way down and you're going to get held underwater for who knows how long. Also, if I were to drop the GoPro or lose it, when it's much bigger, it is probably like gone, whereas when it's like normal average size, odds are I'll be able to find it if it has the floaty piece on it. But it can be cool getting surfing footage of the bigger, when there's a swell or the waves are much bigger, because then you see like it almost looks like slow motion when you're like going. But the waves don't get huge here very often, but once in a while it does. Okay, this question is from APM294. It says, "Why don't you just use a head strap so it won't hurt your neck? So when I surf, I use a GoPro with a Pro Standard mouth mount. And the question is, why don't I use a head strap? Now, the problem with using a head strap is that can work good for some things, but what I found is the footage seems to be shakier, because when you have the head strap on and the GoPro's mounted, it tends to like bounce forward a little bit, and when you're surfing, you're hitting like all these like little speed bumps and wobbles and stuff, and with the head mount, I feel like the footage is going to be much shakier, but also it could fall off or something. With the mouth mount, I just grab it and I take it out of my mouth and I hold it. Now, the head strap could works good for some situations where maybe you need to talk, to voice over, live commentary or something, but I don't think it would work the best for surfing, and that's why I use the mouth mount. Okay, question from Surfer Bob. This is a great video for people who don't surf, to see what all it entails. It can be a lot of work to paddle out, but it is totally worth it in the end. Sunscreen, war paint, is always funny. Great to see you out there. So it wasn't exactly a question, but it was kind of like about, I think there was a question later about what sunscreen do I, was there a question somewhere? Okay, yeah, there was a question from SFB Productions that says, what type of sunscreen do you use for lips? So I use 2 different types of sunscreen. I found this to work the best for me. I use this right here, which is Zinca, right here. Get like a macro shot. Oh, it's a little bright, but I'm not going to mess with the settings, because then everything will get all messed up for this one take. Zinca, that is what I use for my lips. And then what I use for, this is a one take video clip, remember? What I use for like my nose and my face is this stuff right here. And the brand of this, I believe, is like, is it, I do not remember the name exactly, but they don't sponsor me on anything. So also, this is like, there's not that many different types of different sunscreens that are available at the surf shops here. So it's like maybe like this option or like one other one. So it's hard for me. I don't want to say this is like the best one. Well, first of all, it's not like they sponsor me on anything, but also there might be other sunscreens out there that if I were to try, I'd be like, this one I like way better. It just works way better. But because there's not as many options, like this is the one that, from the ones that I have access to, I found this one to work the best, and it just comes in this little circular container, and it is called, I'm pretty sure it's by the brand, is it Headhunter or Headhunter? No, I don't think it's Headhunter. What's the brand? I'll leave a little comment down below with the brand of this sunscreen. But I'd recommend trying as many different ones as you can to see which one you like the best. And this is more of a sunblock, so it leaves a layer which is like blocks out a lot more sun than sunscreen. It's maybe not the nicest looking for if you were doing a photo shoot, but it's going to protect you a lot more than just sunscreen. Sunblock, sunscreen. Another question from your neighborhood pal. What are the dimensions on your board? Well, the dimensions on my surfboard, I have them right here, and on the bottom of the board it says that it is a 6.5 feet. That's how long the board is. It is 18 3/8 inches thick. I mean, not thick, wide. And it is 2 1/4 inches thick. And those are the dimensions of my surfboard. We have a question from, oh yeah, so there's a little bit of an argument like about it was Jacob Roberts left a comment that said, Atua, please wear a life jacket. I want you to stay safe. I definitely enjoyed this video. And then a few people were writing back and forth to each other about you should wear a life jacket or you shouldn't. So I really do appreciate your concern for my safety, and thank you very much, Jacob. And with surfing, most people don't wear a life jacket when you're surfing like normal or not that big of waves, so like small to medium sized. And the reason for that is if you have a life jacket on and you're lying down on your surfboard, you're much higher up out of the water, so it's more difficult to paddle. It's more difficult to balance because you're lying down on your chest on the surfboard. And also, I think there's some times where a life jacket could actually make me get a worse pounding, because sometimes without a life jacket, I'm able to jump off my board and dive into the water to get past the wave, if like I know I need to get out of this wave. Whereas if I had a life jacket, it would make me float, which is good. It'll float me to the top, but I won't be able to get into the underwater, and it'll just pull me back. Now, surfers, when they're surfing really huge waves, they do wear life jackets. And for certain sports, maybe like if you're riding a jet ski or wakeboarding or different things where you're maybe moving way faster, life jacket is a lot more important to wear. But generally speaking, most surfers don't wear it because it will get in the way. But just make sure you are confident in your swimming skills. Let's see, is there any other questions around here? Nope, no more questions on that video, but we have a quote from Mike. It says, "Learning is a treasure that follows its owner everywhere." Hear that, people? And this is why I like to try to gain like information that I will be able to keep, because it's really cool to maybe get, you know, like physical items and new pieces of equipment and stuff. But you know, that stuff maybe it'll get old and it'll break, and then eventually these items you won't have. But if you learn something or you gain some knowledge, then that will stick with you, and like you'll take it everywhere, no matter where you are. It'll be with you. Okay, this video ended up being 12 minutes longer than I had planned, but you know, that's the way it goes. Remember to keep always doing more awesome stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Probably gonna do some adventuring in the next video. Bang! See, normally the video cuts right when I go bang, but this is how it actually ends. It goes bang, and then I'm like, okay, the video's done, now I'm gonna stop the recording. Okay, see you later.